Hey YouTube, welcome to the channel Dit Commando. My name's Ryan and I'm a former Royal Marines Commando from the United Kingdom, Great Britain. And today we're going to be reacting on Visit America, the don'ts of visiting the United States. So, I've already been to the United States, guys, but one place, I went to the West Coast with the Royal Marines. We were visiting the US Marines 29 Palms training facility camp, and we were out there training with them for 6 to 8 weeks, and then we went to Vegas, went to a few other places in between, but only really went to that area, guys. Arizona, California type thing. Okay, didn't venture anywhere else. So with me wanting to go back to America, probably in the near future, once all the borders and stuff open up again, we're hopeful, guys. I would like to know what some of the etiquette is and what the don'ts are, because you don't want to get in trouble there, really. And America, although we do share similarities with the United Kingdom, is very different. Okay, guys, but before we get into it, like, share, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new here, and members, I just want to say thank you for supporting the channel. Okay, troops, if you want to become a member, link is in the description, or just press the join button. But let's just get straight into this one, guys. Here we go.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in Mystic, Connecticut, in a beautiful place here in the U.S. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting the U.S., because anywhere you go in the world, there's things you should do, but there's also things you shouldn't do. And this video is going to just cover the U.S. in general, okay? And our first don't for when you visit the U.S. is don't touch the Americans. Look,
Don't touch Americans. Yeah, okay, that's pretty similar to the United Kingdom, guys. Yeah, don't touch us. I get it.
Americans really like their personal space. It's like they have a bubble around them, and if you get too close to them, they feel very, 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 very uncomfortable, okay? So make sure you give them a little distance when you are there, you know, because I know when I go to Italy and Spain and stuff, we're like, Mark, how's it going, all this stuff, and my American friends sometimes go, wow, they're really, really affectionate. Like, that's just how it is. Here, space is key. The second...
Yeah, space is key. I've noticed when I've went to different places around the world, guys, the Chinese don't really understand personal space. They keep bumping into each other and stuff and bumping into you. I've noticed that quite a bit. If you've noticed that, let me know in the comments, guys.
Don't I have for you is don't count on public transportation. Look, when we were in China and we were throughout Europe and South America, we took buses and trains and planes and all kinds of stuff to get all over the place because public transport is really developed. Here in the U.S., you cannot count on public transport to get you a lot of places. Yes, and...
Is that true, guys? Let me know in the comments. Public transport is okay in the United Kingdom, I guess, trains and stuff like that, but I thought the United States was, like, way ahead of us. Yeah, I honestly... I didn't see a problem with the transport system when I was there, you know? Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think.
Big cities like New York and Chicago and stuff like that, you can get around with public transport, and it'll take you where you want to go. But a lot of towns, small towns especially, in middle-sized cities, the public transportation networks are not very good.
Hey, Primark as well. We love Primark in the UK.
And at night, sometimes it's not very safe. So that is kind of a frustrating thing. So yes, you're going to probably have to rent a car when you come here, okay? So just have a heads up for that. And that kind of leads into the next don't I have for you is don't underestimate the size of the U.S. The United States, it's, you know, continental U.S. is like continental Europe. It's huge. I mean, would you think of driving from, oh, I want to do, you know, go from Lisbon to Paris and then go up to Tallinn and then head down to Sofia? No, you're like, that is insanely far. It's the same thing when you come to the U.S. I meet a lot of travelers that are like, oh, I'm going to fly into New York.
Yeah, you're looking at thousands of miles between anywhere major, guys, all right? And believe it or not, he says don't do it, but I would like to travel from Chicago to L.A. and Miami to Las Vegas and New York to Orlando. Is that weird of me for wanting to do that? Let me know in the comments, guys.
Grab a car, drive down to Miami to see Miami Beach, and then head over to LA. I'm like, dude, you got 2 weeks? You're going to spend the entire time in cars. The distances here are insane. So what I recommend is picking a region. So, oh, we're going to stay here in New England and see New England. Or we're going to go in the southeast, you know, go to Atlanta and Savannah and Charleston, things like that. Or visit the West Coast. You do that to get a better idea of the culture there and things like that. But also, it's just the logistics things because it's so far between the places. And to go along with that, for Americans, a 3 to 4 hour drive, that's a day trip. Like, my parents live 3 hours away. I will literally get up, go drive, have lunch with my mom, and then drive back home. Just for lunch. 6 hours in the car. No big deal.
Nah, That is insane, guys. We wouldn't do that in the United Kingdom. 3 hours there, 3 hours back just for lunch. Nah, it ain't happening, guys.
About 7 hours, we start to think, that kind of is a long drive. And we drive the entire way through. Okay, this isn't like, oh, I must stop every 2 hours and have a 15-minute break. Oh, no. No. We drive all the way through, okay? Now, my next don't for you when you come here is don't think that the sticker price is the end price. Look, in the U.S., we have sales tax. I know other countries, they have VAT, value-added taxes. They're already put into the price of products. So when you see, oh, it's $1 or €1, oh, I only pay €1. In the U.S., it is not like that. We have sales tax, so a certain percentage is added onto that product. And the thing is, I cannot tell you what the sales tax will be where you're going to travel because it's different everywhere. Cities, states, counties, different products have different sales taxes, and some products don't have sales taxes. Some cities don't have sales taxes. Some have 10% sales tax. It can be different anywhere you go. So if you're gonna go get your dollar menu item at a McDonald's or a Culver's or a wherever, it's not gonna be $1. Where I live, there's 2 cities right by where I live. One, it's gonna be $1.08. The other one, it's gonna be $1.09. So be ready for that. And it's not just the sales tax. Also, there could be the tipping on top. And that leads us into the 5th don't, and that is don't forget to tip. Look, in the U.S., you tip 15 to 20% at a sit-down restaurant, okay? Now, McDonald's, stuff like that, no, you don't tip at a fast food place. But if it's a sit-down restaurant where they bring you your food and stuff like that, you will tip them 15 to 20%.
See, that's something that we didn't know when I was in Vegas, and we just weren't tipping, and everyone was frowning at us, and we didn't realize at the time you were supposed to like tip 15-20%. We just never did it, guys. We were like asking for the change back and stuff, and it's something we do in the United Kingdom, but we just did not realize, troops, and we got in a bit of trouble with that. But that's a story for another time, guys.
If you are in a group of 6 people or more, sometimes they automatically put the gratuity on there, which sometimes can be 18% or something like that. Look, when you come to the U.S., there's a reason why the food is like so affordable. You're like, wow, it's cheap to go out and eat in the U.S. It's because there's kind of this understanding that the service fees and paying for the workers and the waitresses and stuff like that, that goes on to you, the person eating there, with the tips. So the food and stuff can be cheaper when you go out to eat. And I know a lot of people say, I don't believe in tipping, and this tipping isn't the right thing. They should pay their people more. Well, if you want to pay more for your food, they can do that, but they don't. Okay, so tipping is something we do here in the U.S. So do tip that 15 to 20%. Oh, also, if you're at a bar and you're buying drinks, you're going to want to tip a couple dollars here and there. Otherwise, the bartender might not be too quick to come back and get you your next drink.
Right, that makes sense, though. If they're getting paid less and they can make the money on tips, I'm all for that, guys. I think that's pretty good. It means you can do a relatively low-paid job and still earn quite a bit of cash at the end of the night. I'm all for it, guys. I think it's a great idea. Let me know in the chat if you think it's a good idea. Should the United Kingdom do that? Everyone would probably say no if you're watching from the UK.
So following off of those tips, what you need to realize is our next don't is don't be freaked out by the over-the-top service and free stuff you sometimes get in the U.S. Look, because of tipping and commissions and stuff like that, yes, there is a lot of over-the-top service here. But the thing is, in the U.S., the people actually are pretty nice, and they want to help people. And sometimes for some travelers, if they come from countries where people don't get a lot of service sometimes, it can be a bit much, so don't freak out about it. Also with that is don't be freaked out with some of the free stuff you get when you go to restaurants. Look, if you go to a restaurant and they bring you bread and water or chips and salsa and all those really good things, that's included in your meal. Okay, so if you're going to be buying something, they're going to give you some free stuff. It might be some bread, it might be a salad, it might be a water, it might be something like that. So don't be like shocked when like, wait, I didn't order this bread, I didn't order this salad. Oh no, that comes with your meal. Okay.
Right, in the UK, you'd definitely be questioning that if they brought out extra stuff. You're like, hey, I didn't order this, blah blah blah, because you would be getting charged for it. Sometimes you even get charged for things that you didn't order and it hasn't even been placed on the table. You got to check your receipt an awful lot, especially in London, guys. Yeah.
Okay. Now the thing is, though, you can't just go in and get chips and salsa and walk out. All right. You actually have to order some food when you go there. Now my next don't for you is don't smoke cigarettes in the U.S. If you're smoking cigarettes in the U.S., people will look at you like you're trying to kill their baby. Cigarettes is like totally verboten, like people really frown upon it, which is funny.
Right, is that true though, guys? Because when I was there, I seen quite a bit of smoking, but it wasn't really frowned upon. I don't know what it's like now. Let me know. I'm not sure about that one.
Because when they talk about marijuana and stuff like that, people don't seem to care as much. But
Yeah.
cigarettes, oh, you're trying to kill my baby with that cigarette 2 blocks away. So
Yeah.
if you do smoke, make sure you try to find a place where you can smoke, because a lot of restaurants, or pretty much all restaurants, hotels, stuff like that, have smoke-free. It's smoke-free, so you got to go like 15 to 20 feet away from doing things, so that can be something. So I've come here outside my favorite liquor store to give you the next don't, and that is, don't try to buy alcohol unless you're 21, or cigarettes unless you're 18 or over in the US. They will not sell them to you. And the thing is, don't forget your ID, because if you look like you're 40 or under, they may ask you for that. And don't get mad at them, because if they don't ask, they can get in trouble and
Yeah,
get
true.
fined. So don't be surprised, because we've had friends that have come here, try to buy alcohol, and they're like, sorry, you don't look old enough. Oh, I don't have my ID. Too bad. And the thing is, it's not just the person buying. They might ask anybody with you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
make sure everybody has their ID if they want to buy liquor, or they want to buy, well, they want to buy alcohol, or if they want to buy cigarettes. So just FYI on that one. Oh, that's all.
I agree with that. I think the age in the United Kingdom is definitely up for debate. It's 18 for legal purchase of alcohol. 21, does that reduce the risks associated with it? I think it does, guys, okay? I drank way too much at 18. Way too much. In the United Kingdom, we're known for drinking. I drank so much, guys.
Also, another don't I have for you is, don't bother with a metric system when you come here. We don't use we don't use meters, we don't use kilometers, we don't use liters. It is inches, feet, miles, gallons, pounds, things like that. And I'll put a conversion chart here to show you. But honestly, you may say, hey, how far is it to this next town? And they'll tell you, oh, it's like 60 miles. You're like, what's that? Just know 60 miles, it's about 100 kilometers, okay? So just do that, because the people here won't get it. I mean, I have people, when I'll tell them, oh, it's 100 meters away, they're like, 100 meters? It's like 100 yards. Oh, okay. So make sure you do know your imperial system, okay? Because metric, we don't do that so much here. So we're
Yeah, but I'm surprised that most people won't use those terminologies and understand what it is. I mean, I understand. We don't use some of those terminologies, but we understand it, guys, all right?
next don't is, when you do come to the U.S., there's a couple things you don't talk about, okay? One is gun control, and two is politics.
Yes.
Because no matter where you are, you will get people on either side of the
Yep.
spectrum, and they will have an argument with you. So it's best just to lay off those topics. Talk about the weather. Oh, wouldn't it be nicer if it was sunny today and we could go sailing? Yes, that would be much better than discussing gun control or politics. Just putting
I've noticed that, guys, when I was in the Royal Marines and I visited the United States, the US Marines, that actually came up in conversation once, and it didn't go down well. They was so mixed, all right? And you can imagine in the military, there was loads of people for it. There was some people from the British side against it, because we just don't live in a culture, in a community, in an environment where weapons are so readily available. But I guess he's true on that. Just don't bring the topic up. I can definitely understand that. That's a point that I will be using when I go to the United States again, definitely.
that one out there for you right now. Now, my next note for you is, don't assume that all the U.S. and all the Americans are the same. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a typical American. Well, it's like saying you're a typical European. Look, the U.S. has all kinds of different cultures, all kinds of different people, all kinds of different topography and scenery and stuff like that. And when you come here, don't assume it's all the same. You will see regional differences in cuisines and how people treat each other, and how everything looks, all kinds of stuff. So don't just think there's just one kind of American. They're all fat, slobby guys with ponytails. No, there's actually a lot of skinny people in America too, not just fat guys like me.
Yeah.
My buddy Jeff.
Yeah, again, I'm talking about when I went there. There was loads of gigantic people, loads of small people. There was loads of everybody, guys, when I went there. There's just loads of everything, and yeah, be expected of that as well. And I'll definitely understand that when I go there.
There are those. So don't assume it's all the same, all right? So do go out and explore. And that's why I always say is, if you're going to come to the U.S., go and explore different regions, because you'll get a really different feel. Because going to the southeast and seeing the plantation homes and going to see the southern towns down there versus going to the northwest and Seattle and Portland, or going to San Francisco, or going to the Midwest with Chicago and Milwaukee, you're going to have a very different feel, which is really a cool thing to do. And you start to understand is, wow, the U.S. does have a lot of different cultures within it, a lot of different feelings
Yeah.
when you go around here. And following on with that, I guess I would say another don't is, don't assume there's no culture in the U.S. because there are a lot of cultural centers out there. If you go down to New Orleans, you see a very rich culture there. You go to New York or Boston. Here in New England, you have a very distinct culture. In the Midwest with Chicago, Milwaukee, you go to the West Coast. I mean, there's a lot of different culture here. Historic culture with the Native Americans or more recent culture here. I mean, you have all that here you can really take in. And saying there's no culture in the U.S., it's not really true because there are all these different cultural centers with great museums like the Art Institute of Chicago or the Met in New York, the Getty in LA. There's all kinds of stuff you can see and do when you are here. For a cultural trip, it's not just seeing beautiful landscapes and seascapes.
I thought there was loads of culture when I went there, guys. I thought it was fantastic. In my view, it's the greatest country I've ever visited, and I've been to loads and loads of different countries, guys. It's the greatest country I've ever visited. If it was my choice, I'd live there. I would live there, guys, 100%.
It's like we are here in Connecticut. There's a lot more to it than that. Now, my next don't for you is one that I kind of get a lot of questions about. We actually have a video on this, and then that is, don't think that how are you or how's it going is actually a question. Look, when we say how's it going, how are you, these kind of things in the U.S., it's not a question, it's a statement. It's like saying hi. Okay, just take it as a hi. Because a lot of people say this, everyone asks me how I'm doing. When I try to tell them how I'm feeling, they're like, well, I was just saying, how are you? Here, how are you is just hi. Think of it that way. It's like in France, ça va, ça va. How's it going? How's it going? We're good to go. In Portuguese, tudo bem, everything good. You answer back, tudo bem, everything good.
In England, I'd say, hey, how's it going? The person would answer back, yeah, not too bad, thank you, mate, how are you? And then I'd answer back, and then that's where the conversation starts. We would never walk away from that.
Good. It's just, how are you? How are you? You move on, okay? So don't think it's an actual question, all right? Now, another don't I have for you is don't expect a lot at the fancy hotels. You know, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to pay more money for this hotel. I'm probably going to get nicer stuff, like a nicer breakfast, better Wi-Fi. Oh, no, 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 no. For some reason in the U.S., it seems like the nicer the hotel, the more you have to pay for the things you think would be free, like Wi-Fi and breakfast. So don't feel like you have to stay at the fancy hotels, because honestly, if you're going to be going out and exploring, you just need a couple beds, right?
Yeah.
So stay at the hotels in the U.S., and the cheaper ones will give you free Wi-Fi, free breakfast, all these kind of things, which is really nice, so don't expect that from the fancy hotels.
That's really useful. I'll be utilizing that when I visit you next, guys. Hopefully 2021.
Another don't I have for you is don't skip out on the local food. Look, we're here in New England. We're here in Connecticut. We've been having lobster and clams and, oh my God, New England clam chowder. Oh, my tummy is just like, more. It's fantastic. When I'm in the South, man, Southern fried chicken, mac and cheese, barbecue. Oh my God. The food in the different regions in the U.S. are great. So don't just go to chain restaurants. When you go to your hotel, ask them, hey, what's some local restaurants around here? What's some locally owned and operated restaurants? So you can go there and check out those places because they really give you a great experience. And I find a lot of times those ones actually have better service than the chain restaurants because it's a mom and pop place where the owner is the ones helping you out. And that is really kind of a cool thing. Now, my next don't for you is don't get sick. Look, healthcare in the U.S. is insanely expensive. And just because you come from another country doesn't mean they're not going to find you for the bill. All right? So if you're going to be coming here, make sure you get travel insurance or trip insurance so in case you do get sick or you do break an ankle or you do break an arm or something happens to you, your insurance will cover it. Now, you might have to pay it first and your insurance pays you back, but at least you'll get something back because
that would scare the living daylights out of me. Visiting there, getting injured, getting a massive charge for it, because in the UK we take for granted we've got the NHS. It's free. Like healthcare is free, guys. It's fantastic.
Healthcare here in the U.S. is insanely expensive, okay? So make sure you're prepared for that. And I guess my last don't I'm going to have for you is one that people actually got mad at me for when I lived in other countries when I told them the U.S. has 50 states. And they said, no, the U.S. has 52 states. Look, don't think the U.S. has 52 states. The U.S. has 50 states, okay? Just a heads up on that one. I'm sure that people are going to be commenting down below that when I was in school, they told me 52. No, there's 48 on the mainland, and then Alaska and Hawaii are 49 and 50, all right? So those are our don'ts for visiting the U.S. What are some of the don'ts you have for the U.S.? Because I know there's more out there. I just want to get some of these out there to help out.
Right, guys, I don't know the answer to that. Is that correct? Is 50 states the correct? Is that correct? Let me know in the comments, man. I don't know. Hopefully, if there's an American watching this, let me know, guys.
Travelers heading to the U.S. just so we can get things going. Anyway, if you like videos like this, we have stuff on what the...
Right, guys, let's have a chat about that one. So, the don'ts of visiting the United States. Actually, quite a lot of those make perfect sense. I have visited before, but in a military capacity, so I was kind of protected from the don'ts and the do's, you know, the etiquettes, because I was on a military base a lot of the time. I was with military personnel a lot of the time, and I was in big groups a lot of the time as well. But when we did venture out, we did fall foul of a few of these don'ts, okay, and we didn't do it like tipping and stuff like that. We just fell foul of it, guys, and we got in a lot of trouble. And we were wondering why we're not getting served and stuff, and yeah, just a long story, as you can imagine, guys. But the British, they were a little bit what's the word, sympathetic for us. They knew that we didn't understand the custom, guys. But all in all, I love America. I loved it, man. I loved the West Coast. I would love to visit the East Coast. I would love to visit mainland, all of these types of places, troops. So hopefully I can get some footage to you guys very soon on the matter. But if you did like this, please smash that like button, please subscribe to the channel, and share the video out with your friends if you want. All right, it would really help me, and I just want to say thank you for taking your time of the day to be able to support me, and watch the videos, guys. Members, if you do want to become a member, press the join button or click the link in the description. All my other social media is there. And members, guys, that are already sponsoring the channel, thank you. I couldn't do this every day if you didn't sponsor, so thank you, guys. I really do appreciate it. But until next time, peace out, guys.